Hi everyone, welcome to the Laser Channel. My name is Greg, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you the setup and a quick project using the Atomstack R1 rotary chuck to engrave this nice coffee mug. Stay tuned to find out more. Welcome back. I can't wait to show you all the neat features on this Atomstack R1 rotary chuck. Before I do that though, I want to let you know that this is a sponsored video. I'd like to show you all the parts that are included with this rotary unit. I'd like to start off with the already installed leg extensions on the laser machine. The rotary unit that I have here, I've already installed some chuck adapters to hang on to this red cup that I'll be engraving in just a little bit. I also have this auxiliary stand off to the end here to help stabilize the opposite end of the chuck. Also included is this very nice manual. It shows you everything that you need to know about setting up and utilizing this chuck. It includes a number of cables. Here's the cable with the white ends that we'll be using between the rotary unit and the Atomstack. If you do not have an Atomstack laser machine, it does include this other cable with black end for using with third-party laser machines. There's also some more parts for some additional chuck adapters to go on the unit, along with some chuck extension fingers. Let's take a close-up look at those. Here's a close-up look of that extension arm, and I want to draw your attention up to the tip here. It's nice and rounded, making it perfect to hold on to perfectly round objects like engraving baseballs or glass Christmas ornaments. There's also this nice groove, and this is perfect for hanging on to specialty items like engraving rings. The kit also includes two measuring devices for you. One of them is a plastic calipers. The other measuring device is a rudimentary tape measure for measuring the circumference of any objects that you'd have for project materials. And lastly, the kit includes a nice small bubble level to make sure that any work that you have in here is level to the laser head, ensuring that the laser is in perfect focus throughout the project. With all of the accessory parts covered, I'd like to take a close-up look of the rotary unit. There's a couple unique features on here that I've just been waiting to share with you. The first thing that I'd like to show you on the side of the unit is this dial marked out in all the degrees of rotation, and that is because when I flip this around, we'll see that there's a large thumb screw here. I like to call it the hand screw because it is so large and easy to manipulate, but it allows the entire chuck to dip down just a little bit, and it can actually pivot up quite a ways. It can actually go all the way vertical if needed. When I turn this back around, we'll see that there's no spot for a chuck key on here, and that is because this is a keyless chuck on here, and there's this large ring here, and I can easily turn this with one hand. When we turn to the side here and look, we'll see that the jaw is this nice brass material that allows for easy manipulation of all the screws for all of the different jaw accessories included with the kit. When I take a look at the bottom here, I'll see that there's 3 black rubber strips. When I place this back on a flat surface, we'll see that this is very securely attached, and I'm very confident that when I run a project using this rotary unit, that this will not shift around. This base plate and the frame is all made out of thick, solid aluminum. It's a very sturdy, very quality unit. I'm just about ready to turn power on the machine and get some motion on that rotary chuck. But first, I'm going to show you how I align my rotary chuck up to the laser machine. There's lots of ways to do this, but my favorite way is to take a flat board that I have and place that along the gantry crane, and I use this board to align the base of the rotary unit up to this frame. While I still have power off on the laser machine, this is still a perfect opportunity to take the cable that comes with the rotary chuck. This is what the ends look like, and one end goes into the rotary chuck Only one end will fit in here, and the connection only fits in there in one direction. The other end of the cable, we're going to disconnect this Y-axis motor. That Y-axis, of course, controls this motion here. This motor is going to be replaced by the rotary chuck motor. I'll disconnect that and plug this connection in. And again, this connection only goes together one way. Inside the Lightburn software, I am connected to my X20 Pro. And the first thing I want to do is enable the rotary unit. That is normally found in this area. If yours does not show up, navigate to Edit, Settings, and there'll be a little checkbox right here. I'm going to click that so it shows up green, and that will now show up on the main screen here. I'm going to enable that. And there's an icon up here, and this is where all the setup is going to be for the rotary unit. Inside the rotary setup, I'm going to breeze through some of the settings and give you some pointers on getting started in the right direction. First of all, the rotary type, of course, we're using a rotary chuck type. We have the rotary enabled, and on my setup, I do not need to mirror the output. The rotary axis, of course, is on the Y-axis. Next over here is the millimeter per rotation. This is what we're going to do for an initial calibration. Once we have a good number in here, we never need to change that. I'm going to loop back to this in just a second. And moving on to the object diameter and the circumference, this is essentially a calculator that Lightburn provides for us. The software will be using these numbers to make sure that it is properly scaling your graphic out to the material that you have in that chuck. Every time you change the diameter that goes into that chuck, it does have to be measured and it does have to be entered in this setup screen. Looping back to the initial calibration, I'm going to be using this glass jar that has flat sides on it. I don't want anything with a taper. I'm going to be measuring the diameter of this jar with included calipers in the kit, and I get 2.79 inches. I've got that already entered in on the screen, and it tells me the circumference. The calibration is all set up on my machine, and I'm ready to now place this red mug into the rotary chuck. And with the level placed on top, I can see I'm a little bit out of level, so I'm going to turn and loosen up the adjustment knob on the back side of the rotary chuck, and I can bring that into perfect level. That looks good. And I can slide the stabilizer post up to the bottom of my cup. The laser module is over the center line of my project. I'll set the focus. That all looks good. The last thing that I need to do out here is, of course, measure the diameter of this mug. I have my graphic loaded in, and I have that on layer 00. I have the mode set to fill, and when I double click on that, I'm going to have a speed of 100 millimeters per second, and I'm going to enter in a power level of 75%. I have constant power mode on, overscanning is on, and whenever using a rotary unit, never run crosshatch. It just doesn't turn out. And I'm going to take a look at my scan angle degrees here, and I want this to be in the direction that the laser head will be moving back and forth on. So moving horizontally, what that equates to on the machine is the x-axis shuttling back and forth, which is exactly what I want. My lines per inch is set at 254 and will be plenty for this project. Down at the bottom here, I have fill all shapes at once. And of course, I have the start from in current position. Whenever you're using a rotary unit, you definitely end up running in current position because the machine isn't allowed to home because there is no homing switch on a rotary unit. So always run it in current position. With my goggles on and the air assist pump on medium speed, I'm now ready to hit the start button, and this project will take about 3 minutes. Everything's complete, and it's now time to remove the cup from the rotary chuck. This looks absolutely perfect. That time spent getting that calibration number of 160 millimeters per rotation makes sure that the scaling of this turns out perfectly. The Atomstack R1 rotary chuck. It's the perfect accessory to go with any laser machine. I really enjoy creating video content exactly like this for all of you. I hope that you're able to glimpse some entertainment from this and some knowledge to use and set up your rotary chuck, or if it's helping you to make a decision to purchase, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, or ringing that notification bell. It really helps me out, but most of all, it helps the channel out and it helps connect content like this with great viewers like you. Until next time, learn, create, and share.